There was once a time when plant conservatories were a feature in many Victorian parks. They were a popular attraction and people would flock to marvel at the collections of rare and exotic species. Sadly, over the years, many of them fell into disrepair and had to be removed. In fact, in Melbourne, there's only a handful left, including this beautiful example in the suburb of Malvern. John Varigos is keeping the conservatory tradition alive by filling the northern wing of this grand old building with his amazing orchid collection. So when people come and they see that the door's open, they can come and visit you and find out a bit more information?
Yes, that's right. A lot of people have obviously been living in the area for a long time and they're actually quite surprised, sort of stick their head in, you know, is this open? Can I come in? Sort of question. I say, yeah, welcome. Come in and see my collection.
So how many orchids have you got in the conservatory?
I estimate probably around about 500 or 600, and they're basically species orchids from around the world. I'm not into hybrid growing.
Tell us a bit more detail about the species orchids, because I think people often don't realise that a lot of the hybrids that you see are man-made, if you like. So tell us the difference.
Okay, species orchids are as they have been growing in nature for millennia.
So that's what you're talking about, the wild species,
wild orchids,
the native ones that haven't been touched by man pollination.
Exactly. And when you come to hybrids, there's probably close to 250,000 different hybrids that have been made ever since about the 1860s, when humans discovered how orchids were fertilised and started playing around with them.
Oh, John, these are gorgeous orchids. And the fragrance in here.
Yes, you usually get that about mid-morning. I noticed the perfume's starting to come out.
And isn't that spectacular? What's that?
Yeah, this is Dendrobium crepidatum, and that grows from the eastern Himalayas through China right through to Vietnam. And it's a high-altitude growing plant and quite easy to grow in Melbourne.
And this is a beauty. Look at the massive orchids on that one.
Yeah, this one is an Australian native one. It's called Dendrobium falcarostrum, and it comes from the northern parts of the eastern coast of Australia, from New South Wales up through Queensland, and it's very highly scented.
And then this one, you could fool me, but it looks like a clump of grass.
Yes, I think most people who see this one would think it's grass. It's,
yes.
As you can see, it's something that you'd probably mow over if you found it growing in your backyard. But the flowers themselves are very small, but en masse you've got this wonderful sort of pincushion effect on it.
John, you've got so many orchids from different parts of the world, all different climates, different temperatures, all that sort of thing. How do they grow so well in Melbourne?
Well, this conservatory gives us the ability to actually control the environment that they're growing in. Even in the cold Melbourne winters down to 4 and 5 degrees, the minimum that it's got to in here has been about 9 or 10 degrees. The ideal humidity for orchids is around about 60 to 80% for the majority of the tropical ones, and we're finding the environment in here is just perfect for them.
When people think of orchids, they do automatically think flowers, and that is pretty spectacular.
Yes, it is a spectacular blooming, and this is Dendrobium falcarostrum, the compact form of it. But there's more to orchids than just flowers. We also appreciate them for the foliage that they have. And up here we can see that we've got two orchids which are totally different, and most people would not pick them for orchids. One which has got a very terete leaf, which is very pencil-like, which means that it can be quite drought tolerant, and the other one which is almost like a succulent.
This is the perfect win-win situation where a heritage building gets a new lease on life, John's amazing orchid collection gets a home, and the public gets to share these beautiful plants.
This conservatory is such a magnificent building that I would like to see it become a centre for Melbourne in terms of orchid culture, something to look at every day of the week, and people to come and photograph them and share the experience of how orchids grow in the wild with their friends.